When we enter a restaurant or a shopping mall, we often believe we're making choices based only on our own taste. What we feel like eating, what we feel like buying, or how long we want to stay. But the truth is more mysterious and more psychological. Every environment is filled with signals that quietly influence our decisions. Lighting, scent, temperature, crowding, and especially sound. Sound is one of the most powerful environmental cues because it reaches us constantly. We cannot look away from sound. And research has shown that sound doesn't just change our mood. It can change how much we spend, how long we stay, and even how food tastes inside our mouth. Today, we explore how sound shapes behavior, starting with a restaurant, moving into taste perception, and finishing with how shops use atmospherics to influence shoppers. The story begins in a quiet restaurant in the UK. For 3 weeks, North and colleagues ran a clever field experiment, meaning it was done in the real world, not in a laboratory. Week 1, classical music. Week 2, pop music. Week 3, no music at all. Nearly 400 customers ate at the restaurant during that time. They didn't know they were in a study. All they did was choose their food, enjoy their meal, and pay the bill. Importantly, nothing else changed. The menu, the lighting, the staff, the temperature, even the volume of music. Everything was kept constant. Only the type of music changed, and the result? Customers spent significantly more money when classical music was playing. Not because classical music hypnotized them, but because classical music carries symbolic meaning, elegance, sophistication, quality. When people heard it, they felt they were in a more refined environment. And in refined environments, people choose refined, and often more expensive, items. This is the core idea of consumer psychology. The environment shapes our choices, even when we believe we're acting freely. North's study is powerful because it happened in real life. Real customers, real bills, real behavior. This gives the research high ecological validity, meaning the results represent what people actually do, not just what they say they might do. By tightly controlling everything except music, the researchers could confidently conclude that music itself influenced spending. The message for real managers is simple. The soundtrack of a space can literally make people buy more. Now we move to something even stranger, the connection between sound and taste. Most people think taste comes from the tongue, but modern psychology shows that taste is multisensory. It is constructed by the brain using information from vision, smell, sound, touch, and our expectations. This means that changing the environment can change the experience of food, even when the food itself stays exactly the same. Woods and his team wanted to answer a simple but fascinating question. Does background noise change how food tastes? Participants wore headphones and ate small pieces of food. They rated how sweet, salty, crunchy, and enjoyable the foods were. The textbook gives a general overview, but the original study gives far richer detail. Let's tell that complete story. Woods et al. Didn't just explore taste. They asked 3 precise scientific questions. Does loud noise reduce taste intensity? That is, does food taste less sweet or less salty when noise is loud? Does noise increase sound-related sensations like crunchiness? Crunchiness depends heavily on auditory cues, what we hear when we bite the food. Does noise influence how much people like the food? They wondered if background noise affects enjoyment, not only taste. These questions help separate gustatory sensations from auditory sensations. The study used 48 university students, mostly women between 19 and 39 years old. Everyone wore headphones, even in the silent condition, so that any changes in taste could not be blamed on differences in how people heard their own chewing. This level of control is critical. Good psychological research isolates the variable of interest, in this case, sound, and keeps everything else constant. Woods et al. Tested 3 environments: no sound, quiet white noise, loud white noise. White noise is a constant featureless sound, like the static from a TV, which allowed researchers to test noise without added pitch, rhythm, or emotion. 2 experiments ran using these same conditions. Experiment 1, sweetness, saltiness, liking. Experiment 2, flavor, crunchiness, liking. This design allowed the team to compare how noise affects different sensory pathways. The results tell a powerful story. 1. Taste intensity went down in loud noise. Foods tasted less sweet and less salty when the background noise was loud. 1. Crunchiness went up in noise. People reported crunchy foods as more crunchy under noise conditions. 1. Liking depended on noise preference. If people disliked the background noise, they also liked the food less. Mood, annoyance, and sensory overload all played a role. Together, these results show that sound is not just a background feature. It actively changes how our brain interprets taste. Different senses have separate processing areas in the brain, but they also connect. Research shows that sound can influence activity in taste and smell-related brain regions. So when noise becomes loud, the taste system receives less attention and weaker signals. This creates a real, measurable change in perception. Imagine whispering in a nightclub. The whisper is the same volume, but it feels weaker because the environment is loud. The same thing happens with taste. Loud noise becomes the dominant sensation, making taste seem less intense by comparison. The brain has limited attention. When noise demands attention, the brain focuses less on the taste signals. Studies show that noise reduces pain intensity because it distracts the brain. Wood suggests the same mechanism. Noise, distraction, reduced awareness of taste. People link pitch with taste unconsciously. High-pitched sounds, sweetness, sourness. Low-pitched sounds, bitterness, saltiness. White noise removes pitch entirely, breaking the brain's ability to predict taste sensations. This weakens the experience of taste. All participants experienced all 3 noise levels. This design eliminates differences in personal taste sensitivity, hearing ability, liking or disliking certain foods, cultural taste preferences. Counterbalancing ensured that no participant always started with the same noise level. This prevents order effects like fatigue, learning, or boredom. If different participants had been placed in different conditions, the results would be much less reliable. Imagine one group full of people who naturally love salty food and another group full of people who hate it. The noise effect would be confused with personality and preference. Repeated measures kept the study clean, controlled, and statistically powerful. Woods et al. Showed that a simple environmental factor, like noise, influences taste perception. This strongly supports a situational explanation. Behavior changes because the setting changes. Individual differences, like genetics or taste sensitivity, were not the focus here. But the key message is clear. Our experience of taste is created not just by the food, but by everything around us. Morabian and Russell proposed that environments influence us emotionally through pleasure, how happy or comfortable a place feels; arousal, how stimulating or energizing it is; dominance, how in control we feel. These emotions shape our behavior. Pleasant, gently stimulating environments make us want to explore, stay longer, and interact with staff. In a Canadian mall, a soft citrus scent was released subtly into the air. Shoppers rated the environment as more pleasant and higher in quality, even though their mood didn't change significantly. This study supports the cognitive explanation. Scent acts as information. A good smell signals a good environment, which shapes perceptions of quality. Crowding is another atmospheric cue that shapes shopper behavior. When a space feels too full, either with people or objects, consumers experience lower satisfaction. Machlight demonstrated that crowding reduces the sense of control, increases stress, and lowers pleasure. These emotional reactions explained why shoppers felt less satisfied. Retailers now use intentional spacing, pathways, and controlled flows of people to improve the shopping experience. To deepen your understanding, think about these questions. 1. How could you study store exteriors in real life? For example, by observing real customers approaching differently designed storefronts and measuring approach behaviors like walking speed, time spent looking, or whether they enter the store. 2. Why did North et al. Control volume and music familiarity? Because unfamiliar or louder music could change mood or arousal, affecting spending in unintended ways. High control showed high validity. 3. What other situational factor could influence taste? Lighting is a strong candidate. You could test taste intensity under warm, cool, or colored lighting using a repeated measures design. When you eat in a restaurant, when you walk into a store, or when you relax in a cafe, remember, your senses are not separate. Your brain is constantly combining information, the music, the noise, the scent, the colors, to create your experience of the world. Consumer psychology does not only show you what people do, it opens the door to understanding why they do it, and how environments guide behavior without anyone noticing. As you continue studying, pay attention to the world around you. Your next research question might be hiding in the sound of a cafe, the smell of a bakery, or the crowd in a mall.